So this video will talk about the writing process. And so what are the three stages of the writing process? There are three stages. You have pre-writing, where you write your outline. You've got writing, where you write your rough draft, and you transform that outline into 5 paragraphs. And then you revise, rewriting, where you rewrite your essay and you check for essay structure and grammar errors. So here are your 3 steps: pre-writing, writing, rewriting. And so first we're going to cover pre-writing. So in the pre-writing stage, you're going to, this is where your professor assigns your assignment. And so you're going to develop a research question to guide your research. So a research question means you ask yourself, what am I interested in? What do I want to know? And then you find and read potential sources to see what it is you're interested in. Next, you narrow your topic, where you develop your preliminary thesis. And remember that your thesis statement states the main idea of your essay. Brainstorm. In other words, you write down all your thoughts without even thinking about grammar, about what it is you want to write about. You can draw a mind map which you put into the central circle, the main idea, and then the outer circles would be your body paragraphs. Who are you writing for? Are you writing this for the teacher? Are you writing this to your family? And so later on in this class, we're going to learn about audience and how when we write to friends and family, we can use first and second person case. But when we write for our teacher, we write third person case. So when we write in first and second person case, that's informal English. And when we write in third person case, that's formal English. And so we assess our audience. And then here we are going to use different kinds of verbs so that we do not repeat the same verb over and over again. And so when you're ready to organize your thoughts, consider outlining your paper in a way that follows the assignment instructions and aids the flow of your argument. An outline can be 5 lines or 50. So I prefer that you create a sentence outline where you write in full sentences what it is you're going to write about for your essay. So let's say, for example, I take smoking is harmful to your health because it causes lung cancer, it causes throat cancer, and it causes stomach cancer. So that would be your thesis statement because it's the main idea and it includes the 3 topics you're going to include for your body paragraph. So body paragraph 2 would be about smoking and lung cancer. Body paragraph 3 would be about smoking and throat cancer. And then paragraph 4 would be about smoking and stomach cancer. And all 3 of these items are all listed in your thesis statement. And that your thesis statement is going to be the last sentence of the first paragraph and the first sentence of the last paragraph. So, and then the second, so this is all your pre-writing, in which you create a topic and you write an outline. In the second step, okay, which is known as writing, so this one's pre-writing. Now we're getting to the second stage in the writing process, known as writing. So here you transform your outline into a rough draft. So this would be part 2. So remember, part 1 is this week, week 1, in which we're going to write the outline. In week 3, we're going to have our rough draft. And so in the rough draft, you're going to transform your outline into the 5-paragraph essay structure, where you're going to have a thesis statement with matching body paragraphs. So here in the writing stage, you write quickly and save revisions for later. Feel free to leave blank spaces and come back to them later. Make sure your tone is appropriate for your audience. This means that you know the difference between formal English and informal English. And so when we use formal English, we do not use you and your in our paper. And in formal English, we do not use I, my, we, and us. And so therefore, since you're writing for the teacher, you're going to use formal English, third person case, he, she, they. We're going to cover this in a lot more detail in week 3. But when you write a paper and you get to the rough draft stage, be aware of tone and be aware of your audience. For when you write for friends and family, you're going to use you can use first and second person case. That is, you can be personal. You can say I, my, we, us, you, your. In other words, it's conversational. But when you write for your teacher, that is, in other words, formal English, then you would take away the first and second person case, and you would just use he, she, they. So instead of saying you need to exercise, you would say people need to exercise. So you're going to replace everything with people. People need to exercise to stay in good shape. When you're finished, consider a reverse outline to check the structure of your paper. Take some time after your first draft to clear your head and prepare for revision. And so here's where you take your break, and you can go out and take a walk. You can go to the beach and look at the sunshine, and you clear your head. This is the favorite, for a lot of students, this is their favorite part, just going to take a break. And the reason why you take a break is because we become too familiar with our paper. And once we write the paper, we have a human reaction. Our ego tells us, oh, my paper is great. I could never make mistakes. This is why it's so much easier to find mistakes in other people's papers, but not in your own paper. So it's good to not write your paper all in one sitting, and you could take a break. And then when you come back, you have a fresh mind. And then after your break, you go to step 3, which is rewriting. So this will be part 3 of your illustrative essay. And in this last stage, known as rewriting, you are going to revise your paper for essay structure to make sure all your topic sentences match your thesis, to make sure your thesis statement is the last sentence of the first paragraph, and to make sure that your thesis is also the first sentence of the last paragraph. And then you can use this checklist to make sure that you have a really good final draft. So here, when you're revising, we're revising for essay structure. And then here, when we're editing for grammar, APA, mistakes. And we're going to go over the editing and revision techniques later on in this class. There are actually many different techniques for revision and editing. So here is a short revision list, checklist, so that after you write your rough draft, make sure you check all of these and have all of this. So do I have enough support or evidence? Is there an introduction, body, and conclusion? Are paragraphs cohesive and ordered logically? Do I have transitional statements and topic sentences? So transitional statements mean transition words, like first, second, third. And then you can Google yourself a transition word list so that you can use transition words in order to make your essay flow more smoothly. Do I repeat myself? How is my style? Do I vary? And then under editing, do I vary my sentence structure? In other words, if you use too many simple sentences in a row, your essay will sound choppy. It's always good to have a combination of simple, compound, and complex sentences. And so we're going to be learning about sentence structure in your quizzes. Is my word choice appropriate to my audience? In other words, do I have only third person case and get rid of all your you, your, and my, I, he, I, my, we, and then only make sure you replace everything with third person case, he, she, they, people, American. Does my paper use the correct format? Make sure that your paper is double spaced, Times New Roman size 12, and if you're going to use references, make sure you use APA references and that you use credible references. Have I read my paper aloud to listen for wording issues? Do I have correct grammar, spelling, and usage? Do I meet the required formatting, layout standards? So once you finish your revision, you can then hand in your final draft, and then this paper, final draft, I believe it's in week 5 of this class. So that's why you have part 1, part 2, and so part 1 of your illustrative essay is the outline. Part 2 of your illustrative essay is your rough draft, and then part 3 of your illustrative essay is your final draft. So that's pretty much the writing process, week 1, week 3, week 5 of your illustrative essay. Then you're going to work on a persuasive essay, and you're going to follow the same writing process, except that's 2, 4, 6, 8, or is it 4, 6? Yes, it's 4, 6, and 8. So for persuasive essay, week 4 will be pre-writing, week 6 will be the rough draft, and then week 8 will be the final draft. So that in the middle weeks, you're actually going to overlap, and at one point you'll be writing 2 different essays at the same time. But don't worry, if you have any questions, you can always email me if you don't understand what's going on. So that ends this video on the writing process.